Have you tried running ads online before, but just may have never seen success? Or maybe you saw a little bit of success with ads, but you could just never replicate it? In this video, I'm going to completely simplify and dumb down the entire process for you so that you can get systems to start getting the right results when it comes to running ads. And I call this video the perfect Facebook and Instagram ad strategy for 2024. And if you're watching this in 2025, 2026, it's going to work. I've spent the last 7 years running ads and have worked with over 2,000 online companies, teaching them how to run ads to generate income online. So what I'm going to share with you here is the fundamentals that have been working for those 7 years that still work for me today. And I'm going to completely blow your mind today with how simple this ad strategy is. No fluff. I'm just going to get straight to it. Before we do jump into it, you do need to know when you go online, when you pay people to run ads, more than 80% of these coaches online that try to teach you ads have no idea what they are doing. I'm real with you. I have invested thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars into learning what I've learned today. And one thing that I have learned is most people have no idea what they're doing. So what I'm going to share with you today is simply just what works for me and is what worked for my clients. So suggest to try it out if you'd like. Everyone that I've noticed with this kind of just overcomplicates ads, and they do it to make themselves look more sophisticated. They do it to make their marketing look better because, like, oh, well, you need this crazy ad system where you have all these different loops and all these different targeting strategies. And the problem with that is it just leads to chaos and it's not scalable, let alone leaves most people in the dust because they just get frustrated. I'm going to make it really simple for you. I'm going to give you the exact formula so you know exactly what to do. So make sure you stick until the end because I'm also going to share the only KPI metric that you need to focus on. So let's just simplify ads for you. When it comes to ads, it's just building data and then making educated decisions based off of the data that we have. It's kind of like you're being a scientist, but it's a lot easier than being a scientist because you just look at numbers and these numbers make you more money. So if you just look at these numbers and tweak them, you get more money in your bank account. And essentially, to do this, you really just need to simplify the entire process. And I do this by isolating the variables. I look at one variable at a time and I isolate it. So the first variable that we're going to isolate is the audience. You need to find your winning audience by testing 10 plus different audiences at a low budget to find your winners. So here is a diagram of how this looks. And I'm going to actually take you to my screen here in a second and set it up with you and just show you. But it's very simple. What you're going to do is you're going to first find one creative that you're going to use and you're going to test 10 plus different interests with it. All of this is set up under one campaign. So you have campaign and then you have all of your ad sets and then your ads are associated with each ad. And don't worry, I'm going to show you how this looks inside the ads manager in a second just so you can see it. But what happens is usually within 7 days, you should be able to find your winners. And what I found is roughly about 30%. So if you test 10 different interests, you should find probably like 2 to 4 that actually end up being interests that you can scale into. So this is kind of like what it works. Day 1, you give it a couple days to optimize. Day 4 and then day 7, you just start cutting off the losers. Day 4, you should have some winners. Day 7, you should find out what the real winners are. Thing is, don't be married to the game. Don't be married to the fact that one of these has to work, right? Because it's always different. We're just getting data here. So let me actually just go into my screen and show you how you set this up. So what you're going to do is you are going to come in here and you are going to create a campaign. Let's say, for example, you are doing message ads. That's what we teach all of our clients to do. We have found it to be the most effective, better than VSLs, better than lead forms, better than webinars, better than anything else on this planet because it is the fastest way to get results and prove that your marketing works. So we're going to set up engagement and then we're going to do manual because I always like to do manual campaigns. And then we're just going to name this. I have all my clients name it phase 1 and we can call this top of funnel. TOF means top of funnel. That means if we're running ads to individuals, these are all people that don't know who we are already, otherwise known as cold audience, right? I keep all this the same. We're not going to go into advantage campaign budget on this. This is a more advanced type of structure, and we don't even let our clients do this until they're spending over $500 plus a day. A/B to test, we keep it the exact same. So again, simplify. We keep things as simple as we possibly can. You're just going to click next. And then this is where you're going to name your audience. right? So I'll come back and actually name this here in a second, but just know that's where we're going to name it. You come through here, you set up everything. Again, we don't really touch much here other than the daily budget. Depending on your budget, most of our clients start with either a $5 or $10 a day budget. Let's say we're starting with $10. We want to get fast results. You scroll down, and then right over here under audience controls, this is where you're going to click see more options and make sure that we are actually editing who we want to target in here. So we have the minimum age 24. Pick what you want on here. Maybe your minimum age is 25 and you want to target maybe just Canada, US, whatever. I recommend just picking one and sticking to it. And then if you have custom audiences that you want to exclude, these are audiences that you've created. So maybe anyone that's ever bought from you. So I have a low ticket product, and I have this right here for people that have visited, purchased right here. So if I just want to exclude anyone that's ever bought a low ticket product from me, I could do that. Again, we're not going to get into that. The simplest way is just keep it blank. Now, this is where you really need to pay attention, because Meta will try to get you to do advantage audiences. And in my opinion, this never works, especially if you're like a beginner with this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to use original audience, and it's going to switch things up a little bit. So custom audience, we're going to keep it. Location, again, kind of like what I was talking about. If you want to do your age, you can get a little bit more specific on here, maybe 25 to 47. This is where you're going to add your one interest. So your one interest is going to be one interest that you believe would attract your ideal audience. And what I always tell my clients is most of the time they're running ads because they're teaching something they've done. And for example, if you are in the fitness space and you're trying to target somebody, well, think about yourself 3 years ago. What were some of the interests that you would be interested in? Like, what would target you? Like, what would that be? And then write that down. So if you don't know, you can come in here and you can do suggestions and get some ideas. You can also browse around. Let's just say, for example, we are going in the agency space, right? So you could probably just type in social media marketing, social media manager. I like to keep it as interest, not employees or job titles. Again, it depends on who you're targeting. If you're targeting like a chiropractor or something, you could come in here and just go after like I believe it's called like Palmer College or something like that. Palmer College of Chiropractic, which is schools. There's so many different ways you can go around this. But again, let's just say we're doing social media marketing. Well, you could do social media marketing for one of these on here. And let's just go ahead and do the interest for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, scroll all the way back up here, move my big head, and paste it right here. And then I'm going to scroll back down here, and I always like to put the age. So let's say this is the age 25 to 47. I'm going to just go ahead and go like this, 25 to 47, just so I know. And I like to start broad at first. So once you have that, you are literally just going to go to next, unless you want to play with the placements. Placements are, usually I do advantage plus placements. It just kind of depends on how your ads are optimized. But again, we're going simplicity route. But if you want to change things, this is where you can say, oh, I don't want to advertise on Instagram feed, or only do want to advertise on Instagram feed, whatever it might be. Typically, the easiest way is just keep it like that. Now, the next part is we're actually going to come here and we're going to do the ad, right? So for the ad, this is where you're just going to create the ad. It's pretty self-explanatory. And you're going to add your media here. So let's just say I'm going to add one of my images on here. So let's just use this ad for simplicity's sake. So I'm just going to make sure it works. And again, I'm not saying this is the ad to run. I know a lot of people will watch this and be like, oh, let me go create this own ad. I actually ran this and it didn't perform, just to give you a heads up. So I'm just making sure you don't just try to copy this ad to copy this ad, because a lot of people do that. But anyways, you're going to come through here, and then you come through and you just, you either do Instagram message or learn more. I always like this option if it's on here. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. And then you do again, if you're going to do messaging, you could do the messaging template on here and just create your own. The way I like to do it is say something like message me clients, and I'll send over the free resource, right? So then you could have clients, and then you could delete these over here and then just name this clients, right? So then it says message me clients. I don't send over the blank clients, right? I'm not going to save it just because I have a lot of templates and I don't need that. You guys get the point. But that's essentially what you do. Now, once this is up, what you're going to do is we are in the ads side of stuff. So again, we have the campaigns, phase one. We have the ad sets, which is your interest, and then we have the ads over here. I like to just name these, something that is ad one, black image, whatever. I like to just have something that I can reference on there. And then if you have the keyword, maybe you could just put the keyword right here instead and just put clients. That's another easy way that we've done it as well. But anyways, what you're going to do now is, again, if we go back to this diagram, we have ad one, right? Which is, again, you have your campaign. Everything's inside the campaign because this is top of funnel. And then you have your ad right here. This is ad one. I know it's a little confusing because you have ad sets and ad. Your ads are part of your ad sets. So this is your ad one right there. So what we need to do is we need 10 more of these ads right here. Again, under the ad set, not the ads, under the ad set. A lot of people mess this up and they do it under the ads. If you do it under the ads, you're going to do it wrong. You got to do it under the ad set. So we're just going to duplicate this 9 times. Just hit duplicate, don't change anything. Now it's like, whoa, what is going on? Essentially, all we did was just create 9 more versions of it. So again, let's just go back and simplify this. We are inside the campaign. Under this campaign, we now have 10 ads, and we each have the same ad under each ad set. So all I'm going to do is come through here one by one and change these interests. So scroll down, see how I'm only selected on one. And then I'm just going to, you could do suggestions, click one, change it. People overcomplicate this. No one knows what actually works. You just try it, right? And then I'm going to come through here and see how this is different. I always like to get rid of the copy. Now we have online. Now we have one for online advertising. Now we have one for social media marketing. Let's go change this one down here. So let's do, maybe I'm like, all right, I want to do something completely different. Maybe I want to go after somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk. You don't need the parentheses there, but I'm going to delete the copy. I'm going to do this one by one for all of these on here until I have 10 different interests. I'll just do one more just so you get the point of it. Facebook page admins. Again, I don't want to do that one because I want to just do interest. That was a behavior. Behaviors usually cost more. So let's just do marketing. Keep it super broad. Marketing for business and finance. So what I'm going to do is just delete this. And then again, you're just going to go back and do that for all of these. So let me just go back to the picture. All of these are your ad sets. So how we have Gary Vaynerchuk, that's Gary Vaynerchuk. Then we have online advertising, that's online advertising. And you do that, social media marketing. You do that for all these. You give it about 2 to 3 days, and then you come back and then you start going through what's costing you the most compared to what's getting you the cheapest result. Once you figure out what's getting you the cheapest result, you kill the ones that are costing the most. Once you do that, you usually are left with, process of elimination. Maybe you're left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, right? And maybe it's like, okay, interest Gary V is working, interest social media is not working, interest this is working. And then you give it a little bit more time for the new ones, and then you find your winners. Essentially, from there, you want to find 2 to 4 winning audiences, interests. So in a perfect world, you do this, you do 10 of these, you should find 2 to 4 of them that work. Keep doing this exact process, duplicating with the same creative until you find 2 to 4. Now, if you've done this with, 10 to 15 and you're just not getting anything, your creative probably sucks. And that's another thing that we got to work on as well. But usually, if you do the creative right, and like the clients that work with us, we don't let them publish shitty creatives just because we've been doing this so long, which a lot of people don't really understand how to create a good ad. We'll have to cover that in a new video, but the simplicity version is you have a decent ad. It doesn't have to be great. And then you come through here and you test winning interest. So once you find 2 to 4 winning interests, audiences, we will isolate the next variable, which is the creatives, right? So once you find your 2 to 4 winning interest, let's say, for example, we are left with, let's just say, for example, we turned all of these off. You don't delete them. I'm just doing this for example. Let's say we turned all these off, and these are our winning interest right here, right? So we have 2 to 4 winning interests. Let's just say we only have 3. To keep it simple, let's just say this one didn't work either. So we have 3 winning interests. Now what you're going to do is you're going to stack your winning interest into one new creative and then test 10 different creatives into one new ad set, excuse me, and then test 10 different creatives with a low budget. So let's say these are your winning interests right here. So what I would do is I would just duplicate one of these, and I would change this to winning interest 1, and then add 1, whatever it might be, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here to the winning interest, and we're just going to add the rest of these, right? So let's say the other one was marketing. It was business and finance, if you remember. Then we have Gary Vaynerchuk, and then we have social media marketing, Gary Vaynerchuk. Cool. So we have our 3 right here, remember? And what's going to happen is it's going to give us a huge pool of an audience to test people with. See how that's 30 million? This one over here this is probably pretty big, 6.9 million. This one's 29 million, and then this one is 2 million. So now we have 30 million of a huge audience that we can test. So what we're going to do is we're going to essentially just go in this winning interest and edit the ad. So you can click on it like this, and I'll just hit edit so you can see how there's like one ad underneath. We're going to change this. The only reason it's saying there's multiple here is because they're all in draft mode, unfortunately. You know what, to keep it simple, just so you guys don't get confused, again, let's just imagine that these aren't even here. I'm just going to delete them. Just imagine they're not there. Imagine they are there, but they're not there on my screen, and we're just doing this for the one. Again, you keep those, but I just want to show you for simplicity's sake is you should have one winning interest or one winning ad set with all of your winning interests stacked together, and then you go into the ad, and then what we're going to do is we're going to just test a bunch of different ads. So let's say, for example, here, that was actually an ad we ran for someone a while ago. Let's say this is one. And then you can do keywords for each one, whatever it is. Keyword here. I'm not going to do all of it, but just to keep it simple, add one keyword. That's how I like to stay organized. Now what we're going to do is, again, we're doing this at a $10 a day budget. The only difference is now we're doing this and we're going to be testing different ads. So now let's just say you're going to do this 10 times. I'm just going to do 5 for the example for you here. So I'll just do 4 more. So see how we just duplicated the ad set? Now what we're going to do, instead of changing the interest, we're going to go in each ad set and then change the creative. So it should have a different keyword. So you click edit. This is the easy way I like to do. You can just go right below it, and it'll take you to the creative, right? So add image, say this is the image. So keyword 2, and we go right above it. This is going to say keyword 2. And then you're just going to do that for all of these, right? I'll do one more for you. So we're going to come in here, and then we're going to click on keyword, or we're going to click on the ad, change this. And then let's just say it's this one, right? Keyword 3. And then we're going to change this to keyword 3. So now what happens is, now you are testing your winning interest with new creatives, so you can find new creatives that work from there. So you might have to go through and rewatch this video a couple times to fully understand that if you're a little confused, but if you're ready to go and you're like, hey, this makes sense, let's move on. Step 3 is analyzing the data to see what is getting you the best results. I actually have a video called the 3 simple ways that I like to scale ads. And if you click on it, it'll take you to how to scale ads for high ticket offers. It's a 9-minute video that shows you my 3 scaling strategies. Just go to my YouTube channel, look for it, or I'll drop the link down below. You can check it out there too. That'll save you time on this video. After you get those, then go and scale it. Step 4, optimize your KPIs for dollar per lead. Now, hold up. I said dollar per lead. This is not cost per lead or cost per message. This is dollar per lead, meaning how much money you make per lead. 98% of people that run ads do not optimize for this and don't understand this KPI. So if you're this far into it, congrats, you're above. You're part of the 2% already. But this is how much money you make per lead. So this means if I spent $30 to get a lead and I made $100 per lead, I would be plus $70 per lead, meaning I would make $70 every time I made $30, right? I'd be net positive. Now, obviously, you have team member expenses, other things like that too, but this is just the 1,000-foot overview. I'm going to explain this a little bit more in detail. This will lead to a legit business growth because it not only optimizes for cost per lead or cost per message or whatever it is on the front end, but it also optimizes for cash on the back end. So I like this KPI because it optimizes on the front end and it optimizes on the back end. So the formula for dollar per lead is your total cash collected. Again, not revenue, cash. How much cash you're collecting in that month or time period divided by number of leads acquired, or in this case, number of messages acquired. So an example, let's say you collected $100,000 in cash in 1 month. And that would equal your total cash collected, $100,000, right? And let's say you generated 750 leads collected in 1 month. That would equal your number of leads acquired. Again, if this is messages, same thing. A message is a lead in this scenario. So your dollar per lead would be $100,000 divided by 750, right? 100,000 cash divided by 750 leads equals $133.33. I think if you actually do the math, it's like 0.33333, but you get the point. So your dollar per lead is $133.33. Congrats, that's awesome. Now let's say you spent $40,000 on ads last month. And if these numbers are way outlandish, like way out there for you, just kind of get the 1,000-foot overview of it. Because I just want to kind of give you the simplified version. So again, let's say you spent $40,000 on ads that month and you generated 750 leads, kind of like what we were talking about. Well, your total ad spend would be 40 grand. If you do the math on that, your cost per lead would be $40,000 divided by 750, which would mean it costs you $53.33 to generate a lead or a message. Again, this is a little bit high, but these are the numbers I'm kind of going at with you on this. Meaning, every time you spend $53.33 to acquire a new lead, you generate $133 based off of your dollar per lead. Meaning that your net, how much money goes in your bank account, is $80. Every time you generate a lead, essentially you're making $80. It's pretty cool when you think about that. And this is the way to essentially build a profitable client acquisition system using Facebook and Instagram ads. So as always in these videos, I always say, if you want to go a little bit faster and you want me and my team to really speed this up and shortcut the learning curve for you, like we've done for thousands of our own clients, there'll be a link down below this video where you can get a little bit more information. It's like an 8-minute video explaining what we do, how we do it, and some of the people that we've helped out. You can check that out, or if you'd like just more free information and go at your own pace, check out the rest of my YouTube videos. I've got a ton of information on there explaining how to go through things like this, and we're uploading consistently. Regardless, appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next video.